astrological signs can influence our strengths and weaknesses, and even shape our relationships and career path. I'll be sharing some sneak peeks of the series here on the live stream, so stay tuned, you guys. You know, I've been thinking a lot about the whole idea of shadow self lately and how it relates to our zodiac sign. Like, have you guys ever noticed how certain traits or tendencies that you possess are like totally contradictory to the typical characteristics of your sign? For example, I'm a total fire sign, but sometimes I can be super introverted and reserved, which is like totally not typical of a Leo or Aries. And I think that's because our shadow self is like this hidden part of us that contains all the traits and desires that we've suppressed or hidden. And it's only during times of intense energy, like the full moon, that we get to confront, and I get to confront and explore those parts of ourselves. Oh, I just had the most amazing idea. You guys, let's do a live tarot reading. I'll draw a card from my deck and we can interpret it together as a community. We can use the card as a catalyst for some major reflection and self-discovery, and I'll share some of my own insights and intuition to help guide the process. Are you guys down? What do you think the universe has in store for us today? I'm getting so excited just thinking about it, you guys. The tarot reading is going to be so much fun. I'm going to shuffle my cards and draw one at random, and then we'll dive deep into its symbolism and meaning. I want you all to keep in mind that the tarot is all about tapping into your wisdom and intuition. So don't be afraid to share your own thoughts and insights. We're all in this together, and I know that collectively we can uncover some really profound truths about ourselves and the universe. You know, I was just thinking, as we're getting ready to do this live tarot reading, how cool it would be to explore the connection between our zodiac signs and the tarot card. Like, have you guys ever noticed how certain to resonate with your sign's energy and themes? For example, as a fire sign, always drawn to cards like the Knight of Wands or the Eight of Swords, which are all about action, passion, and breaking free from limitation. I think it's so fascinating how our astrological signs can influence the way we interpret the tarot, and I'd love to explore that more with you guys in future streams. Hey guys, welcome back to my stream. I'm so glad you're here. I was just thinking, have you ever had one of those moments where you felt like the universe was trying to tell you something, but you just couldn't quite decipher the message? Like, you'd see repeating numbers everywhere, or you would have a dream that felt super symbolic, but you weren't sure what it meant. Well, I've been having a lot of those moments lately, and I've been diving deeper into my tarot practice to try and understand what's going on. I did a reading for myself the other day, and I pulled the Eight of Swords, which is all about feeling trapped and limited, but also about finding the strength to break free from those restrictions. It was so on point, you know? Oh my goodness. Speaking of feeling trapped, I've been noticing that a lot of my friends who are Scorpios are having a tough time right now. And I think it's because of the current astrological transits. With Saturn squaring off against their sun sign, it's no wonder they're feeling stuck and unsure of how to move forward. But trust me, this is a huge opportunity for growth and transformation, and I'm excited to see how they come out the other side. I've been thinking about how this transit is affecting other signs too, like my fellow water signs. Cancer and Pisces, we're all in this together, you know? Like, I've been noticing that a lot of my Cancer friends are feeling super nostalgic and sentimental right now. And I think it's because they're tapping into that emotional depth that Cancers are so famous for. It's like they're being called to explore their own emotional undercurrent. And it's really beautiful to see. I just had the most fascinating conversation with a friend who's a total astrology newbie. And I was explaining to her how the different houses in a birth chart can reveal so much about a person's personality. and life path. It was like watching the light bulb go off in her head, you know? She was totally amazed by how accurately her chart described her strengths and weaknesses, and it just for me the power of astrology to help us understand ourselves and each other on a deeper level. You know, it's conversations like that which remind me why I'm so passionate about sharing my knowledge of tarot and astrology with all of you. It's not just about predicting the future or understanding personality traits. It's about using these tools to tap into our own inner wisdom and to gain a deeper understanding of the world around us. I'm thinking of doing a special segment on my stream soon, where I do a live tarot reading for someone. And I want to hear from you guys. Would you be interested in being the one I read for? Or would you rather just watch and learn from the experience? So, I was thinking, what if we took it a step further and did a live birth chart reading, where I dive into the details of someone's chart and explore how the different planets and houses are influencing their life right now? I think it could be really eye-opening for the person being read, and also super educational for everyone watching, because we could all learn from seeing how the different chart factors play out in real life. And who knows, we might even discover some surprising connections and insights that could help us all grow and learn together. I just love how the universe always seems to bring us exactly what we need when we need it. Like, I was just talking about feeling stuck and limited, and then I stumbled upon this amazing quote from the Hermit card in Tarot, which is all about trusting in our own inner light and guidance even when things seem dark and uncertain. And it's funny, because I've been feeling really drawn to the Hermit energy lately, and I think it's because I'm being called to go within and trust my own intuition rather than looking outside for answers. The universe is always reflecting our inner world, and if we pay attention, we can learn so much from the symbolism and synchronicities that show up in our life. I'm also thinking about doing a special segment on my favorite zodiac pairings, because I think it's so fascinating to explore how different signs interact with each other. Like, have you guys ever noticed how certain signs just seem to click while others might be a bit more challenging? I've been looking at some of the most interesting pairings, like Scorpio and Taurus, or Leo and Aquarius, or Leo and Aquarius, and I'm loving the insights I'm gaining into how these different energies can complement or clash with each other. It's like the ultimate cosmic dance, you know? Hey babes. Oh my god, I am so excited to be live on TIKTOK today, talking all things tarot and astrology. I've been getting so many requests to do a reading on the current planetary alignment, and I am more than happy to dive in and share some insights with you all. Like, have you guys been feeling the energy lately? It's been totally wild, right? Oh, I know I've been feeling it, especially with Mercury in retrograde. It's like total chaos, you know? My phone's been acting up, I've been misplacing things, and just overall, it's been a bit of a challenge to stay focused, but that's exactly why I want to talk about it, because, like, there's so much we can learn from this energy and how we can use it to our advantage instead of, you know, getting totally frustrated with it. So, I want to start by saying that Mercury in retrograde is not just about tech issues and miscommunication. It's also about reviewing and reflecting on our past, and oh, I know it can be super uncomfortable, but like, it's so necessary for growth, you know? It's like the universe is giving us a chance to go back and reevaluate and make sure we're on the right path, and I think it's really cool that we get to do that, especially with the tarot, because like the cards can give us such valuable insights into what we need to be looking at and what we need to be working on. I want to do a quick tarot, a reading for you all, and see what the cards have to say about this current energy. So I'm going to shuffle my deck and ask the universe to guide me. And oh, I'm getting the Eight of Swords, which is so interesting because this card is all about feeling trapped and limited, but it's also about breaking from those limitations and finding a new perspective, which is totally perfect for Mercury in retrograde. So, like, the Eight of Swords is also telling me that we need to be careful not to get too caught up in our own thoughts and worries, because, oh, it's so easy to get stuck in that negative mindset, especially when things aren't going exactly as planned. But, the universe is reminding us that we have the power to break from those thoughts and find a more positive, uplifting perspective. And, you know, that's exactly what I want to talk about next, because, like, oh, speaking of staying positive, I want to share with you guys one of my favorite tips, which is to focus on the moment and let go of all the worries about the past or future, because, like, when we're in the present, we can tap into that Mercury and retrograde energy and use it to our advantage, instead of getting caught up in all the what ifs. And I know it's easier said than done, but trust me, it makes... You know, I've also been getting a lot of questions about how to work with the tarot during Mercury in retrograde. And, oh, I think it's such a great idea because, like, the tarot can give us so much insight into what's going on and how we can navigate this energy, but it's also important to keep in mind that the tarot can be a bit more, shall we say, cryptic during this time, because, like, the quests are into that more mixed up and either sign from mixed up and trust tower and to listen and trust it'll give us some amazing guidance. And, oh, I have a special tarot. Oh, I'm so excited to share this tarot spread with you all because, like, it's specifically designed to help us navigate the energies of Mercury and retrograde, and I've been using it myself, and oh, the insights have been amazing. The spread is called the Retrograde Review, and, like, it's all about looking back at what's been holding us back and finding a way to release those limitations so we can move forward with clarity and purpose. And, you know, it's just so perfect for this time because, like, we're all being called to review and reflect. And this spread can give us some really valuable insights into what we need to be looking at. You guys, and I'm so glad you're all excited about the retrograde review spread, because really going to help us tap into the energy of Mercury, and I want to walk you through it so you can do it for yourself. And oh, I think it would be so cool if we could all do it together and share our insights with each other, because, like, that's what it's all about, right? It's about supporting each other and lifting each other up. And, you know, I just love the energy of our little community because, like, we're all in this together and we can all learn from each other. So let's dive in and I'll show you how to do the retrograde review spread. Hey guys, welcome back to my stream. I'm so glad you're all here tonight. So, I was thinking, have you ever had one of those moments where you just feel like the universe is trying to tell you something, but you're not quite sure what it's saying? Like, you'll see a certain number repeating everywhere, or you'll have a dream that feels super significant, but you can't quite decipher the meaning. Well, I'm here to help you break down some of those mysteries, and we're going to dive into the world of tarot and astrology to see if we can uncover some hidden truth. Oh, I'm so excited to share this with you guys. I was doing a tarot reading for myself earlier today, and I pulled the Eight of Swords, which basically means feeling trapped or limited in some way. But here's the thing, I didn't feel trapped. I felt like I was on the verge of a major breakthrough, and that got me thinking, what if we're not always seeing the full picture? What if our intuition is trying to tell us something, but we're not tuning in? You know, this got me thinking about the collective energy of the zodiac right now, and I was looking at the current planetary alignments, and I noticed that Mercury is in retrograde, which can often make us feel like we're stuck or like we're not moving forward. But it's actually a sign that we need to slow down internally. So, and many of you guys are feeling like you're in a bit of a rut right now, but Maybe it's just the universe's way of telling you. So I want to explore this idea a bit further, and what if we did a little experiment tonight where we tap into our collective energy and see if we can uncover some themes that are emerging for a lot of us. Like maybe there's a certain archetype or energy that is present to what's going on and how we can move forward. So I'm thinking, why don't we do a group tarot reading, and I'll pull a few cards that can give us a sense of, I'm really curious to see what comes up in this group reading, because I feel like we're at a really pivotal moment in time, and the stars are aligning in a way that's going to bring about some major changes for all of us Scorpio energy coming up in my readings lately, which is all about transformation and rebirth, something I think that's really reflective of where we are right now. We're all being called to let go of something new, but it can be scary to step into the unknown, so I'm hoping that this I've been noticing that a lot of my followers have been asking about their rising signs and how they can use that information to understand themselves better, so I want to talk a bit about that. Like, your rising sign is basically the mask that you wear in public. It's how you present yourself to the world, and it can give us a lot of insight into our personalities and behaviors, but it's also important to remember that it's just one complete picture of who we are and what we're all about. I'm so glad you guys are interested in learning more about your rising signs, because I think it's such a powerful tool for self-discovery. And I've been thinking, why don't we do a little exercise tonight, where we explore how our rising signs might be influencing our current experiences? Like, maybe there's a certain pattern of thing that's emerging for you, if we can get some packed into life forward. So I want to ask, what's your rising sign? I've been getting a lot of messages from people who are feeling really uncertain about their future, like they're not sure what path to take or what decisions to make. And I totally get it. It can be really overwhelming when we're faced with so many options and possibilities. But I want to remind you guys that uncertainty is actually a really natural part of a growth process. Like, think about it. When we're in a state of certainty, we're often not pushing ourselves to grow or to help you gain our new path. I've been thinking a lot about the concept of shadow work lately and how it relates to our astrological signs, like what are the parts of ourselves that we're trying to hide or deny, and how can we use tarot to tap into those hidden aspects of our personality, because when we're willing to confront our shadow, that's when the real healing and growth can start to happen. So I want to ask, what's something that you've been trying to hide or deny about yourself lately, and help you integrate that part of your personality and become a more whole? Hey guys, it's Lila, and welcome back to my stream. I'm so excited for today's chat because we're going to dive into some juicy tarot readings and astrology discussions. I've been getting a lot of requests to talk about relationships and love, so we're going to explore that topic in depth. Like, have you ever wondered why you're drawn to certain types of people, or why your relationships seem to follow a certain pattern? Well, let's get into it and see what the stars and tarot have to say. So, I was doing a tarot reading for myself the other day, and I pulled the Eight of Cups, which is all about moving on from something that's no longer serving you, and I couldn't help but think about how this card is so relevant to relationships. Like, how many of us have stayed in a relationship way longer than we should have, just because it's comfortable or familiar, even if it's not really fulfilling? I think this is especially true for people who are, like, super emotional and empathetic. Like, the Cancer and Pisces types, they tend to put others' needs before their own and can get really caught up in trying to make the relationship work, even if it's not really working for them. And, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, because empathy and compassion are amazing qualities, but sometimes we need to take a step back and be like, okay, what do I really want and need from this relationship? And that's what I love about tarot readings. They can really help us tap into our own intuition and inner wisdom and get clear on what we're really looking for in a relationship. Like, I've had readings where the cards have shown me that someone is holding on to a relationship because of fear of being alone or fear of not finding someone better, and that's just not a healthy reason to stay in a relationship, you know? I was thinking, what if we did a collective tarot reading for everyone in the chat and we explored the energies around relationships and love right now? I could pull a few cards and we could break them down together and see what kind of insights we can gain from them. It could be really interesting to see what the universe has to say about our love lives, and maybe we can even pick up on some patterns or themes that are coming up for all of us. I'm really excited about the idea of doing a collective tarot reading, and I think it could be a great way for us to connect and support each other as we navigate the ups and downs of relationships and love. Like, I've been noticing that a lot of people in the chat have been asking about twin flames and soulmates, and I'm curious to see if the cards will give us any insight into that. Are we, like, destined to be with certain people, or is it all about the choices we make and the energy we put out into the universe? I think the whole concept of twin flames and soulmates is really fascinating. It's something that I've been exploring a lot in my own research and reading. Like, some people believe that twin flames are two halves of the same soul, and that they're destined to be together, while others believe that soulmates are more like, people who are perfectly suited to us, but not necessarily our only match. And I'm curious to hear from you guys. What do you think about this whole idea of twin flames and soulmates? Do you believe in it? Oh, and that makes me think about the whole concept of mirror relationships, where we attract people who reflect back to us our own energies and patterns. Like, if we're struggling with self-love and self-worth, we might attract someone who is also struggling with those things, and it can be really intense and triggering, but also super transformative if we're willing to do the work and look within, I've been noticing that a lot of people in the chat are really curious about the whole concept of mirror relationships and how they relate to twin flames and soulmates. And I think that's a great topic to explore. Like, what if our twin flames or soulmates are actually just mirrors of ourselves, reflecting back to us our own strengths and weaknesses and challenging us to grow and evolve as individuals? That's a pretty mind-blowing idea, right? And it makes me wonder if the universe is, constantly trying to nudge us toward self-love and self-awareness through the relationships we attract into our life. Oh my gosh, you guys, I am so excited to be live chatting with you all today. I've been getting a lot of requests to do a tarot reading for the collective, and I have to say, the cards are really calling to me right now. I've shuffled them up and I'm getting a really strong vibe, so let's dive in and see what the cards have to say. Sound good? Okay, so I'm gonna draw a card for the current energy we're all experiencing. And oh my gosh, the card I got is the Eight of Swords, which is all about feeling trapped or limited in some way, like we're stuck between a rock and a hard place. And it's really interesting, and also represent feelings of anxiety or overwhelm, which I know a lot of us have been experiencing lately, especially with everything going on in the world. Well, you guys, this card is really resonating with me, as you're in the midst of Mercury retrograde, which can already make us feel like we're stuck in a rut, where progress is being slowed down. And I think this card is just a reminder that we need to take a step back, breathe, and reevaluate our priorities. What's really important to us right now, and what can we let go of because we're holding on too tight to some. Oh, I love this, you guys, because it's like the universe is giving us permission to slow down and take a closer look at our lives. And I think that's especially important for all my fellow fire signs out there, like Leos and Aries, because you guys are naturally so driven and ambitious. But sometimes the diet can lead to burnout So it's like, take a deep breath, relax, and trust that everything is gonna work out, like the universe has got your back, even if it doesn't feel like it. I was thinking the Sage of Swords card is also really interesting, because it can represent feelings of self-doubt or uncertainty, which I think we've all experienced at some point or another. And it's like, the universe is reminding us to trust our intuition, have faith in ourselves, even when things seem unclear. Because the truth is, we have all the answers within us. We just need to listen to our inner voice and trust that we're on the right path. And I think that... So, I want to do a little exercise with you guys to help you tap into your intuition and trust that inner voice, because I think that's really what the Sage of Swords card is all about. Like trusting that you have the answers within you and having faith in yourself, even when things seem uncertain, living when things seem uncertain. And it's really simple. All you have to do is take a deep breath, close your eyes, and ask yourself, what am I holding on to right now? I've been thinking a lot about the zodiac signs and how they relate to the Sage of Swords energy. And I think there are signs like Taurus and Virgo are really being called to step up and feel in their power right now, because these signs are naturally so practical and responsible, but sometimes it can also make them a bit too cautious. Like they might be holding themselves back from pursuing their dream themselves. The universe is saying, the universe is saying, I was just thinking, the Sage of Swords energy is also really connected to the theme of self-care. Because when we're feeling trapped or limited, it's easy to neglect our own needs and prioritize everyone else's instead. The truth is, we can't pour from an empty cup, Like, we need to make sure we're taking care of ourselves first, so that we can show up fully for others. And I think that's especially important to all our signs out there. Like Gemini and Aquarius signs out there, I think getting a lot of requests is to talk about the full moon that's coming up. And I have to say, it's going to be a really powerful one, especially since it's in the sign of Libra, which is all about balance and harmony. And the first thing, because the sword is all about feeling trapped, which is all when Libra is like, the universe is saying, no, we can find work and find balance and harmony. Hey everyone, welcome back to my stream. I'm so glad you guys are here. Today, I'm super excited to share with you all the really cool tarot spread I've been working on. It's all about uncovering your hidden strengths and passions. I know we've all been there, feeling stuck and unsure of what we're really meant to be doing, but this spread is all about tapping into your inner wisdom and discovering what makes you tick. So, I was inspired to create this spread after doing some research on the Leo full moon, which is all about embracing our inner light and sharing our talents with the world. I realized that a lot of us, especially my fellow fire signs, have this innate desire to create and express ourselves, but sometimes we need a little nudge to tap into that inner spark and really go for our dream. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm so excited to share this spread with you, because it's literally been a game changer for me, and I know it's going to be for you too. I've been using it on myself and my friends, and the insights we've been getting are just wow. We've been uncovering all these hidden passions that we never even knew we had, and it's been so cool to see people's faces light up when they realize what they're truly capable of. So, I want to give you guys a little sneak peek into the spread, and I'm going to share one of the cards that's been coming up for me and my friends a lot lately, which is the Knight of Wands. This card is all about taking action and pursuing your passions, and it's been showing up for people who are feeling stuck or uncertain about their direction in life. It's like this card is saying, hey, you've got the spark within you. Now it's time to take the leap and go for it. I've been noticing that a lot of my friends who are Pisces and Cancer have been really resonating with this spread. And I think it's because they're naturally more in tune with their emotions and intuition. But, like, what's been really cool is seeing how this spread has helped them tap into their more logical and analytical side and use that to make decisions that align with their passions and value. It's like they're learning to trust their gut, but also use their head to make smart choices that will help them achieve their goal. I'm also really curious to see how this spread will resonate with all of you, and I will encourage you to share your own experiences and insights with me as we go through this journey together. Like, I know we've got a lot of different zodiac signs represented in this chat, and I'm excited to see how this spread will speak to each of you in your own unique way. Whether you're a fire sign like me or a more introverted earth sign, I want to hear from you and explore how we can use this spread to tap into our collective wisdom and support each other on our paths to self-discovery. You know, I've been thinking a lot about the connection between tarot and astrology, and how they can be used together to gain a deeper understanding of ourselves and our place in the world. Like, have you guys ever noticed how certain tarot cards seem to be associated with specific zodiac signs or planetary energies? I've been experimenting with combining tarot and astrology in my readings, and it's been blowing my mind. The insights I've been getting are so much more nuanced and multi-dimensional. Speaking of nuances, I've been wanting to explore the connection between the High Priestess and the Moon, and how that relates to intuition and inner knowing. Like, the High Priestess is all about trusting your inner voice, and listening to your inner voice, and listening to your origin, and the Moon is associated with emotions and the subconscious. It's like this powerful combo that can help us tap into our deepest wisdom and make decisions that align with our highest good. You know, I've been thinking about how we can use this connection between tarot and astrology to create a more personalized and holistic approach to self-discovery, and I'm excited to share some of my ideas with you guys. Like, what if we use the tarot to tap into our subconscious mind and identify patterns and themes that are holding us back, and then use astrology to understand the planetary energies that are influencing us and how we can work with them to overcome those challenges? Hey guys, welcome back to my stream. I'm Lily Leela, and I'm super excited to share some juicy astrology insights with you all today. We're currently in the midst of Mercury retrograde, and I know some of you might be feeling a little lost or uncertain about what's going on in your lives. But don't worry, I'm here to help you navigate through it all and offer some guidance using the tarot cards and my knowledge of the zodiac. So, I was thinking, since the Mercury retrograde is all about communication and reflection, we could do a special tarot reading today that focuses on how to effectively communicate with ourselves and others during this time. I'll be using my trusty tarot deck to give you guys some insight into what's going on in your lives, and we can have a fun discussion about it afterwards. Sound good? Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm so glad you're all excited about the tarot reading. I'm gonna shuffle my cards real quick and see what the universe has in store for us today. Okay, I've got my cards, and I'm going to draw 3 of them. One for the current situation, one for the challenge, and one for the outcome. This is going to be so cool, because I can already feel the energy of the cards guiding us towards a deeper understanding of ourselves during this Mercury retrograde period. Okay, so the first card was the 8 of Cups, and this card is all about letting go of something that's no longer serving us, whether that's a relationship, a habit, or even a thought pattern. This card is really interesting in the context of Mercury retrograde, because it suggests that we need to release something that's holding us back from moving forward, and that might require us to take a step back and reflect on what's really important to us. You guys, I'm getting some major intuition that this 8 of Cups card is connected to our inner world and how we communicate with ourselves, like on a deep level. almost as if the universe is nudging us to pay attention to our thoughts and emotions, and to be more honest with ourselves about what we truly want and need. Because when we are in tune with our own inner wisdom, we can communicate more effectively with others and make decisions that align with our values and goals. Oh, I'm so glad you guys are resonating with this reading, because now that we've identified the need to let go of something that's holding us back, which is we can move on to the challenge card, which is really interesting. The card I drew is the Five of Swords, and this card is all about conflict and tension, but not necessarily with others, more like within ourselves. It's like we're struggling to reconcile different parts of our personality, or to make a decision that aligns with our values, and that's causing some internal tension. You guys, I think this Five of Swords card is really highlighting the importance of self-reflection and introspection during this Mercury retrograde period, because when we're not tuned with our own thoughts and emotions, we can start to feel really disconnected and uncertain about what we want, and that's when the internal conflict arises. It's like we need to take a step back and have honest conversation with ourselves and ask ourselves some tough questions like, what am I really afraid of? Or what's holding me back from moving forward? So now that we've identified the challenge, let's move on to the outcome card, which is really exciting. The card I drew is the Knight of Wands, and this card is all about taking bold action and following our passions, which is totally opposite of the Five of Swords. It's like, after we've done the inner work, reflected on our thoughts and emotions, and we're ready to take a leap of faith and pursue our goals and desires with confidence and courage, and that's when the magic happens, guys. I'm so loving the energy of this reading, you guys, because it's all about transformation and growth. And I think that's exactly what we need during this Mercury retrograde period. The Knight of Wands is all about embracing our inner spark and taking bold action towards our dreams. And I think that's such a powerful message, especially when we're feeling lost or uncertain about what's going on in our lives, because it reminds us that we have the power to create the life we want. And that's totally liberating, Hey guys, welcome back to my stream. I'm so glad you're all here. It's going to be a great conversation today. I was thinking, have you ever noticed how the full moon can totally shift your energy and mood? I know I always feel a little more emotional and intuitive during that time, and I've been reading that it's because the moon is all about illuminating our subconscious mind. So I was thinking, what if we did a little tarot reading to tap into that subconscious mind and see what's really going on beneath the surface? I've got my deck right here, and I can do a quick 3-card spread to give us some insight. We can look at the current situation, the challenge, and the outcome, and see how they all relate to our full moon vibe. I'm really curious to see what the cards have to say today, because I've been noticing that a lot of people in my life, including myself, have been feeling a little restless and uncertain lately. We're going to figure out our next steps and make some big decisions. And I think that's really interesting, because the full moon is all about release and transformation. So maybe we're all just being called to let go of something that's holding us back and make room for something new and exciting. So, I'm shuffling my deck really quick, and I'm going to draw 3 cards. And I love the way the cards always seem to know exactly what we need to hear. Okay, our first card is the Eight of Swords, which is all about feeling trapped and limited in some way. We might be feeling stuck between a rock and a hard place, or feeling like we're being held back by our own fears and doubts. I think this is really interesting because it suggests that we might be feeling a little suffocated by our current circumstances, and that we need to find a way to break free and take control of our lives. Oh, that makes me think. Have you guys ever noticed how our thoughts and emotions can be like totally tied to our zodiac sign? Like, as a Leo rising, I always feel this intense desire to express myself and be seen. And during the full moon, that energy can be even more amplified. So maybe we're all just being called to tap into our inner Leo and our true self shine. I'm so glad we're having this conversation because I think it's really helping me understand the energy of the full moon and how it's affecting all of us. And I love how the Eight of Swords suggests that we need to break free from our limitations and take control of our lives. You know, that reminds me of the Pluto return that's been happening for a lot of people, where we're all being forced to confront our deepest fears and insecurities and transform them into something new and powerful. It's this huge opportunity for growth and rebirth, but it can also be really scary and overwhelming at times. So I was thinking, what if we looked at the second card in our spread, which is the challenge? And wow. It's the Five of Cups, which is all about emotional loss and letting go. Like, this card is all about releasing our attachment to something that's no longer serving us, whether that's a relationship, a job, or even just a mindset. And I think that's really interesting because the full moon is all about releasing what's holding us back, and this card is like the ultimate symbol of that. You know, I think the Five of Cups is really interesting in this context because it suggests that we might be holding on to something that's no longer serving us, and that's what's causing us to feel stuck and limited. And I think that's really calm, and during the full moon, when our emotions are running high and we're feeling more sensitive. Like, maybe we're holding on to a past relationship or a past version of ourselves, and we need to let go of that in order to move forward and make space for something new and exciting. Oh, and that makes me think, what if our attachment to the past is actually holding us back from our true potential? Like, as a Leo rising, I know I have a tendency to hold on to things that make me feel good about myself, even if they're no longer serving me. And I think that's something we can all relate to, whether it's a past achievement or a past relationship. But the Five of Cups is like telling us to let go of all that and focus on the present moment, because that's where our true power is. And that's a really powerful message, especially during the full moon when we're all feeling a little more emotional and into it. Hey guys, welcome back to my stream. I'm so excited to be here tonight. We're gonna dive into some really cool stuff. I just got back from the most incredible astrology workshop in LA, and I'm literally bursting with new knowledge to share with you all. So grab a cup of tea, get comfy, and let's get this astrological party started. I'll be doing some tarot readings, and we'll be discussing some really interesting topics, and oh my gosh, you guys. I'm so glad you're all here, because I just learned about this amazing tarot cards to tap into our subconscious mind. It's called the Shadow Work Spread, and it's literally in our mind, basically, and helps us identify the deepest, darkest fears that are holding us back, and how to overcome them. So if you're ready to get a little deep and do some serious soul-searching, then you're in the right place, because we're about to dive into some heavy stuff. So, I want to start by asking you guys, have you ever noticed how sometimes you'll be doing a tarot reading and the cards will just seem to mirror your current situation? Like, it's almost spooky, right? And that's because tarot is all about tapping into that collective unconscious. It's like our subconscious mind is connected to this universal energy, and the cards are just a tool to help us tap into that. I've been studying a lot lately, as I'm just fascinated by the way our minds work, and how we can use tarot to gain a deeper understanding of ourselves. You know, I was thinking, have you guys ever noticed how our relationships, like I'm a Scorpio and I'm super passionate and intense, and that can sometimes be overwhelming for my partners, but at the same time, it's also what draws them to me, because I'm just so all in. And I'm thinking, what if we could use tarot to understand our relationships on a deeper level beneath the surface? Is what's driving our partners, what's driving our partners. So I was thinking we could do a little experiment tonight where we use tarot to a connection between our zodiac signs and our relationships. Like, I'll do a reading for each of the 12 signs and we can see what comes up. It'll be really interesting, I think, because we'll get to see how the cards reflect the energies of each sign and how that might impact our relationships and how... Oh, I'm so glad you guys are all on board with this experiment, because I'm literally bursting with excitement. Like, I've been thinking about this for weeks, and I've been preparing all these different spreads, and I've got all these questions to ask the cards, and I just know we're going to uncover some really valuable insights. So let's get started, shall we? And I'll begin with the fire signs, because, like I said, they're just so passionate and intense, and I want to see what the cards have to say about how that energy plays. So let me shuffle my cards. I was just thinking Aries are known for being so impulsive, and that can be really attractive in a partner, but it can also be super challenging because they're just so used to doing their own thing and following their own instincts. Sometimes make it hard for them to commit to a relationship. So I'm curious to see how the cards reflect that. We see a lot of the Knight of Wands, which is all about action and adventure, or will we see more of the Emperor, which is all about... I'm literally on the edge of my seat as I'm shuffling these cards, and I can feel the universe aligning with our intentions. I know we're about to tap into something really deep and profound, and I'm so grateful to have all of you along for the ride. So let's take a deep breath together and see what the cards have in store for us. Starting with Aries, I'll draw the first card, and oh wow, it's the Eight of Cups, which is all about emotional depth and introspection. And I'm like... Okay, universe. Oh my gosh, you guys, the Eight of Cups is such a powerful card, and it's totally not what I was expecting for Aries, because they're usually so action-world, but this card is all about looking inward and exploring our emotions, and I think that's really interesting, because it suggests that Aries are actually craving a deeper emotional connection in their relationships, and that they might be feeling a little unfulfilled if they're not getting that. So I'm wondering, hey guys, welcome back to my stream. I'm so glad you're here. Today, I want to talk about something that's been on my mind a lot lately, and that's the concept of shadow work in astrology. That part of ourselves that we try to keep hidden, even from our closest friends and family. I think it's so interesting to explore, especially when we're talking about our zodiac signs and how they influence our personality. Oh, so have you guys ever noticed how some people just seem to be drawn to the darker side of life? The mysterious and the unknown? I think that's because they're more in tune with their shadow self, which is actually a really powerful thing. I mean, when we acknowledge and accept our shadow, we can start to integrate those repressed thoughts and feelings into our conscious awareness, and that's when the real growth happens. So, I was reading this book on tarot and psychology, and it talked about how our shadow self is often reflected in the cards we draw. If you keep getting the Eight of Swords, that might be a sign that you're feeling trapped or limited in some way, and that's a shadow aspect that you need to confront. So cool to think about how the tarot can help us tap into those hidden parts of ourselves and gain a deeper understanding of our motivations and desires. So, I want to share with you guys a personal experience I had with shadow work and tarot. I was doing a reading for myself, and I kept getting the High Priestess, which is all about intuition and hidden knowledge. At first, I was like, okay, cool, I'm just supposed to trust my instincts, but then I started to think about how I've been ignoring my intuition in certain areas of my life, like with relationships and career choice. It was a major wake-up call, and and it made me realize that I need to listen to that inner voice more often, even if it's telling me something I don't want to hear. So I think it's really interesting to explore the connection between our shadow self and our zodiac signs. Like, for example, Scorpios are notorious for being drawn to the darker side of life, but that's because they're naturally more in tune with their shadow self. They're not afraid to explore the unknown and confront the parts of themselves that they might be trying to keep hidden. And I think that's something we can all learn from. You know, being more willing to explore our own shadow and confront those parts of ourselves that we might be trying to keep hidden. You know, I've been getting a lot of requests to do tarot readings on my stream. And I love doing them because it's such a great way to tap into our subconscious mind and explore those shadow aspects. I was thinking, why don't we do a collective reading today where I draw a card and we all interpret it together? It can be a really powerful way to gain insight and perspective, and it's always so much fun to share that experience with all of you. Oh, so I was thinking, let's get started with the collective reading, and I'll draw it from my deck. I'm feeling really drawn to the major arcana today, so I'll just shuffle those cards and see what comes up. Okay, so the card I drew is the moon, which is so interesting because the moon is all about illusion and intuition, and it's a card that can indicate that we're not seeing things as clearly as we think we are. Like, maybe we're being deceived by someone or something, or maybe we're just not trusting our own instinct. Oh, I love it, you guys. The moon is such a complex card, and I think it's really relevant to our discussion about shadow work and the subconscious mind. Like, when we're in a place of illusion, we might be ignoring our intuition or denying certain aspects of ourselves, and that's when our shadow self can start to emerge. I think this card is telling us to trust our instincts and not be afraid to explore those parts of ourselves that we might be trying to keep hidden, even if it's uncomfortable or scary. You know, I think the moon card is also really connected to our emotional selves and how we respond to stress and uncertainty. Like, when we're feeling overwhelmed or anxious, we might start to doubt our own intuition or second guess ourselves, and that's when our shadow self can start to take over. But the moon is also a reminder that we have the power to tap into our own inner wisdom and trust our instincts, even in the midst of chaos or uncertainty. Hey guys, welcome back to my stream. I'm so glad you're all here. Today I'm super excited to dive into some tarot readings and astrology discussions, and I have a feeling it's going to be a really insightful conversation. I was just doing some research earlier and I stumbled upon this really cool aspect that's happening in the stars right now. It's all about new beginnings and fresh starts, which I think is perfect for all of us, you know. Oh, so I was thinking, since we're all about new beginnings today, let's talk about the energies that each zodiac sign is experiencing right now. Like, for example, if you're a fire sign, Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, you're probably feeling super inspired and motivated to take on new projects and pursue your passions, which is amazing, but also remember to take care of yourself and not burn out, you know? Well, on the other hand, if you're an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, you're probably feeling a lot more grounded and focused on your goals, which is great, but also remember to be open to new experiences and not get too stuck in your routine, because, like, the universe is always trying to surprise us, right? So, I had a really cool idea. I want to tarot a reading for each of the zodiac signs, and I'll just draw a card and see what the universe has in store for you guys. Sound good? I'll start with the fire signs, and I just drew the 8 of Wands for Aries, which is all about taking action and making progress towards your goals. It's like the universe is giving you a big push to keep moving forward and not give up on your dream. And And I just love how the Eight of Wands is all about momentum and energy. It's like when you're in Aries, you're already naturally inclined to be a go-getter, but this card is just amplifying that, you know? It's telling you to keep pushing forward, even when things get tough, because the universe has your back and is supporting you every step of the way, which is just so empowering, don't you think? So let's move on to the earth signs, and I'll do a tarot reading for Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Oh, I just drew the Four of Pentacles for Taurus, which is all about stability and security. It's like the universe is telling you to focus on building a strong foundation and not worry too much about taking risks right now. Just enjoy the comforts of what you already have, because enjoy the comfortable, which sometimes that's just what we need. You know, I was just thinking the Four of Pentacles is also a really great reminder for all of us to appreciate the little things in life. Like, we don't always need to be chasing after something more. Sometimes just being present in the moment and enjoying what we already have is enough. I think that's a really beautiful message for all of us, especially in today's fast-paced world where we're always striving for more, you know? I'm so glad we're having this conversation, guys. It's really making me think about the different energies that are at play right now and how we can all work together to support each other, you know? Like, even though we're all different zodiac signs with different personalities and approaches to life, we can all learn from each other and grow together, which is just so beautiful, don't you think? Oh, I just had another idea. Let's talk about the air signs. Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, and how they're experiencing the energies of new beginnings and fresh start. Like, I was just thinking, air signs are all about communication and social connection, so I'm guessing they're probably feeling a lot more chatty and curious right now. Always looking for new ways to express themselves and connect with others, which is just so typical of air signs, you know? Oh my gosh, you guys, welcome back to my stream. I'm so excited to be here today, and I have to say I've been getting some amazing energy from the universe lately. I was doing a tarot reading for myself this morning, and I pulled the Eight of Cups, which is all about letting go of what's holding you back and moving on to something new and exciting. It's like the universe is telling me to take a leap of faith, and I'm feeling super inspired to share that energy with all of you. So I was thinking, why not do a special reading for all of you today and see what the universe has in store for us collectively? Like, I know we're all on this journey together, and I'm curious to see what themes and patterns are coming up for us right now, whether it's related to love, career, or just personal growth in general. I'm gonna shuffle my cards really quick, and then I'll draw a few cards to get a sense of what's going on. Okay, so the first card I'm drawing is the Knight of Wands, which is like super fiery and passionate, and it's all about taking action and pursuing your desire. It's interesting because this card is often associated with the fire sign, Leo, and I know some of you guys out there are Leos, but even if you're not, this card can still represent a spark within you that's ready to be ignited. Oh, I love this. The Knight of Wands is all about being bold and fearless, and I feel like we all need a little bit of that energy in our lives right now, you know? It's like we're being called to tap into our inner courage and take a chance on something that really excites us, whether that's a new relationship, a new career path, or just a new hobby that we've been wanting to try out. So I'm gonna draw another card to see what's blocking us from fully embracing this fiery energy, because let's be real, we all have fears and doubts that hold us back sometimes. And oh, this is interesting. The card I'm drawing is the Five of Swords, which is all about mental clarity and discernment, but it can also represent inner conflict and self-doubt, like we're our own worst critics, you know. It's like we need to learn to trust our own inner wisdom and not let our fears and worries hold us back from pursuing our passion. You know, I think this is really relevant for a lot of us right now, especially with Mercury in retrograde and all. It's like our minds are already prone to overthinking and self-doubt, but the universe is telling us to trust our instincts and not get caught up in all that mental chatter. You feel me? It's like we need to learn to quiet the inner critic and just go for it, even if it feels scary or uncertain, because that's where the real growth happens. Oh, I love how this reading is unfolding, you guys. So, I'm going to draw one more card to see what the universe has in store for us in terms of the outcome. Like, what can we expect if we do take that leap of faith and trust our inner wisdom? And okay, the card I'm drawing is the Star, which is like one of the most beautiful and uplifting cards in the entire deck. It's all about hope and renewal and positive energy. And I'm getting chills just looking at it because it's saying, yes, trust that inner spark, trust that fiery energy, and you will be led into a place of great beauty and wonder. You know, I think this reading is really speaking to all of us on a deep level, because who doesn't want to trust their inner wisdom and pursue their passions with confidence and courage? Like, we're all on this journey together, and it's amazing to see how the universe is guiding us towards our highest potential, even if it feels scary or uncertain at times. And I'm so grateful to be able to share this energy with all of you, because it's like, we're in this together, and we can all support and uplift each other as we navigate these themes and patterns in our lives. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm getting so many amazing messages from the universe right now. And I want to share one more thing with you before we wrap up this read. I've been noticing that a lot of you are asking about how to apply this energy to your daily lives. Like, how to actually trust your inner wisdom and take that leap of faith. And I want to share a little secret with you. It's all about setting intentions and being mindful of your thoughts and emotions. Like, take a few minutes each day to just tune into your inner self and ask, what am I feeling right now? What am I thinking? And just allow yourself to be present in that moment without judgment. Hey guys, welcome back to my stream. I'm so glad you're here. I'm Lily Leela, your go-to girl for all things tarot and zodiac, and I'm super excited to share some juicy insights with you all today. I was thinking, have you ever noticed how the full moon always seems to bring out the trauma in people? Like, everyone's emotions are just heightened and stuff. I know, right? It's like the full moon is this cosmic catalyst that just amplifies all our feelings and makes us confront the things we've been trying to avoid, you know? And that's exactly what I want to talk about today, how we can tap into that lunar energy to gain some major self-awareness and personal growth. I'm going to do a live tarot reading to help us get started. Oh, I'm so glad you guys are interested in this topic because, like, I've been noticing that a lot of us have been struggling with some major self-doubt and uncertainty lately. And I truly believe that the full moon is the perfect time to address those feelings and get some clarity, you know? And that's where tarot comes in. It's like this incredible tool that can help us tap into our subconscious mind and uncover the underlying patterns and emotions. Well, before we dive into the reading, I just want to give you guys a quick rundown of what's going on astrologically right now because, like, it's super relevant to what we're talking about. The full moon is in Scorpio, which is all about intensity, passion, and transformation, and it's also squaring off with Mars, which is just adding to the emotional intensity and impulsiveness. So, like, it's no wonder we're all feeling a little... I'm gonna draw a card from my deck and do a live reading for us. And I want you guys to keep in mind that this is a collective reading, so it's not just about me or any one person, but about all of us and our shared energy. And I'm using my trusty tarot deck. the wild unknown, which I just love for its intuitive and mystical vibe. And okay, let me just shuffle the cards and see what comes up for us. Oh my gosh, you guys, the card that came up for us is the Eight of Cups, which is like totally a card about letting go and moving on from something that's no longer serving us. And I think this is so relevant to what we've been talking about with the full moon in Scorpio, because like Scorpio is all about transformation and rebirth, and sometimes that means we have to release the old to make way for the new, you know. And I think so, like, I want to dive a little deeper into the Eight of Cups and what it might be telling us, because this card is all about emotional release and moving on from something that's been holding us back. And I think it's so, which is already all about intensity and transformation. And I'm like wondering if maybe this card is trying to tell us that we need to let go of some of those intense emotions that are holding on to some old fear or anxiety. You know, I think this card is also telling us that it's okay to acknowledge our emotions and not be afraid to show vulnerability, because, like, that's where the real growth happens. And I've been noticing that a lot of us have been trying to put on this tough exterior and pretend like everything is fine when it's not, and that's just not sustainable, you know? We need to be willing to dive into those deep, dark places and confront our fears and insecurities head on if we want to truly transform and move forward. Oh, I'm loving the energy in this chat, guys. It's like we're all connecting on a deeper level and really tapping into this full moon energy. And I want to ask you, have you ever noticed how the full moon can bring up these old patterns and emotions that we thought we'd long forgotten? Like, it's like our subconscious mind is just stirring up all this old stuff and forcing us, trying to tell us that it's time to let go of those old patterns and emotions and move forward into something new and more authentic. Hey guys, welcome back to my stream. Oh, I'm so excited to be here tonight. Like, the moon is in Cancer, and it's all about emotions and intuition, you know? I was thinking we could do something really cool and discuss how our zodiac signs affect our relationships. Like, which signs are naturally compatible, and which ones might need to work a little harder to make it work. So, like, I was thinking we could start with the fire signs, you know? Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. They're all super passionate and energetic, but they can also be a bit intense, especially when it comes to their emotions. I've noticed that fire signs tend to attract earth signs like Taurus and Virgo because they're more grounded and can help balance out the fire signs' impulsiveness. But, it can be really interesting to see how these relationships play out. Like, will the fire sign spontaneity clash with the earth signs need for stability? So, like, I was thinking we could take a look at the tarot cards and see what they have to say about these relationships. I just pulled a card for us, and it's the Ten of Cups, which is all about emotional fulfillment and happiness. But, there's also warning here. Like, the Ten of Cups can indicate that we're idealizing the relationship or putting too much pressure on it to be perfect. So, like, if you're a fire sign in a relationship with an earth sign, you might want to take a step back and make sure you're not expecting too much from your partner, you know? Oh my gosh, you guys, I just had the craziest idea. Like, what if we did a live tarot reading for someone in the chat? We could, like, choose a person randomly and do a 3-card spread to see what's going on in their life. How they can navigate any challenges they're facing. I've got my tarot deck right here, and I'm totally feeling the energy, you know? We could, like, do a past, present, future spread. Maybe even a relationship spread if the person is looking for some insight into their love life. Who's down for it? Oh, I'm so down for doing a live tarot reading. Like, I can feel the excitement building up in the chat, you know? And I was thinking, Since the moon is in Cancer, we could focus on emotional healing and self-care. Like, what can we do to nurture ourselves and our relationships during this? Maybe the tarot cards will give us some insight into how to, like, release any emotional baggage we're carrying around and just, let go of all the drama. So, like, I'm thinking we should choose someone for the live tarot reading, and I'm going to randomly select a name from the chat. Wish me luck, guys. I'm closing my eyes and pointing to the screen, and Emily, Rocks95. Congratulations. Emily, you're gonna get a free arrow reading, and I'm so excited to see what the cards have in store for you, Okay, so I'm shuffling my tarot deck, and I'm getting this really strong vibe that Emily's reading is going to be all about relationships, like romantic relationships, friendships, family dynamics, And I'm drawing 3 cards for her, and the first card represents the past, the second card represents the present, and the third card represents the future. And I'm getting this feeling that the cards are going to reveal some really interesting patterns and insights into Emily's life, like things she might not even be aware of, Oh my gosh. Okay, so I've drawn the 3 cards for Emily's reading, and I'm going to interpret them for her. Like, the first card is the 8 of Swords, which is all about feeling trapped or limited in some way. And I think this might be related to a past relationship or experience that's still affecting her, Maybe Emily felt stuck or restricted in some way, and this is still influencing her thoughts and emotions today. Like, she might be carrying around some emotional baggage that's holding her back from moving forward. So, like, the second card I drew for Emily is the Knight of Cups, which is all about romantic invitations and new relationships. And I think this is really interesting because it suggests that Emily might be on the verge of meeting someone new or receiving an invitation for a romantic connection, But like, the Knight of Cups can also indicate that this relationship might be a bit unstable or unpredictable, so Emily will need to be careful and trust her intuition when navigating this new connection. Like, she shouldn't get caught up in the romance of it all without thinking things through, Oh my gosh, you guys, I am so excited to be live streaming with you all today. Like, I've been thinking about this topic for weeks now, and I just can't wait to dive in and share it with you all. So, today we're going to be talking about the mystical connection between tarot readings and astrology, and how they can help us gain a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. Well, I know some of you might be thinking, Lily, what's the big deal about tarot and astrology? And trust me, I get it, it can all seem a bit woo at first, but bear with me because I promise you, it's going to be a wild ride. Oh, I've been getting into tarot readings a lot lately, and I have to say it's been a total game changer for me. Like, I was doing a reading for myself the other day, and I pulled the 8 of Swords, which is all about feeling trapped and limited, and I was like, wow, this is so spot on, because I had been feeling really stuck in my life at that time. And then I started thinking about how the 8 of Swords is all about breaking free from those limitations, and it just totally shifted my perspective, So, I started thinking, well, if tarot readings can give us such a deep understanding of ourselves and our situations, how can we use astrology to enhance that understanding? Like, I know some of you might be familiar with your sun sign, but did you know that your moon sign can also play a huge role in shaping your personality and emotional landscape? I've been getting really into moon signs lately, and I've found that they can reveal some really interesting insights about our inner world. I was just talking to a friend the other day, and she was telling me about how she's been struggling with anxiety and self-doubt, and I was like, girl, let me do a tarot reading for you. And we did the spread that showed her that she was carrying around all this emotional baggage from her past, and it was totally holding her back. And then I looked at her birth chart, and I saw that she has this really intense Moon Square Saturn aspect, which is all about fear and self-doubt. And it just clicked, oh, it's so fascinating to see how the tarot and astrology can intersect like that, and I think that's what I love most about this topic. It's like, the more you learn, the more you realize how much more there's to learn. And I've been getting a lot of questions from you guys about how to get started with tarot readings and astrology. So I want to share a little tip with you. Start by just paying attention to the moon cycles. Like, notice how you feel during the full moon versus the new moon, and see if you can start to tap into that intuition, because trust me, it's a total game changer. You know, I've been thinking a lot about the connection between the tarot's major arcana and the planets in astrology, and I have to say, it's some pretty mindle-bowing stuff. Like, have you guys ever notice how the Fool card is all about new beginnings and taking risks? And that's exactly what Uranus is all about in astrology. Sudden changes and awakening. And then there is the High Priestess card, which is all about intuition and mystery, and that's so closely tied to the moon and the subconscious mind. It's like, the more I learn about tarot and astrology, the more I realize how they're speaking the same language, you know. Oh, I just had the craziest idea, you guys. What if we did a live tarot reading right now, and I used the astrology chart, the collective, to inform the reading? Like, I could look at the current planetary transits and use that energy to tap into the collective unconscious, and then do a tarot spread that reflects what's going on in the world right now and how we can navigate it as individuals. It's like, the tarot is all about reflecting our inner worlds, but astrology is all about reflecting the outer world. So what if we combine the two to get a bigger picture of what's going on, you know? I'm like totally getting goosebumps just thinking about it, you guys, because I know how powerful it can be when we tap into that collective energy. And I've seen it time and time again in my tarot readings, where the cards will reflect what's going on in the world around us, and it's like this huge validation that we're all connected, you know? And I think that's what I love most about this topic. It's not just about personal growth and self-discovery, it's also about how we can use these tools to understand the world around us and our place in it. And that's just, like, so profound to me. You know, I was just thinking, what if we use the tarot to tap into the collective energy of the zodiac signs? Like, what if we did a reading for each sign and saw how they're all intersecting and influencing each other? It's like we could get a huge overview of the cosmic landscape and see how each sign is contributing to the bigger picture. And that's just like so fascinating to me, because I know how much each sign brings its own unique energy to the table, and when we combine them, it's like this beautiful tapestry of human experience, you know? Hey guys, oh my gosh, like, I am so excited to be going live today. We're going to be talking about some really cool stuff, and I think you're all gonna love it. So, I was doing the tarot reading earlier, and I pulled out the Eight of Swords, which is all about feeling trapped and limited. And me thinking about how many of us are feeling stuck in our lives right now, whether it's in our relationships, our careers, or just in general, you know? Oh, like, I know I've been feeling that way too, especially with school and creating content for you guys. It can get overwhelming, but I want to talk about how we can break free from those feelings of being trapped. And I think it's really interesting because, well, Mercury is in retrograde right now, which is all about is in a retrograde time to reflect on what's holding us back, you know. I was also thinking about how our zodiac signs play into this. Like, some signs are more prone to feeling stuck than others. And I'm looking at you, Tauruses and Virgos. You guys are notorious for getting caught up in the details and overthinking things. But, don't even get me started on how Scorpios can get stuck in their own intensity, you know? It's like we all have our own ways of getting trapped, but the key is to recognize it and take steps to break free. And I want to share some tips on how to do that. So, let's talk about some practical ways to break free from those feelings of being trapped. And one thing that I've found really helpful is to practice self-compassion, you know? It's like we're so hard on ourselves sometimes, and that just adds to the feeling of being stuck. Well, when we can be kind and understanding with ourselves, it's like we open up a whole new world of possibilities, and I think that's especially important for people who are in more emotional or intuitive signs, like Cancer or Pisces. You guys are already so attuned to your emotions, but sometimes it can make it harder to break free from negative thought patterns. I was also thinking about how our moon signs play a role in this too, you know? Because our moon signs are all about our emotional inner world, and when we're feeling stuck, it can be really helpful to look at our moon sign and see what's going on there. Are we feeling emotionally blocked or stagnant? And, I think it's really interesting because, some moon signs are naturally more adaptable and resilient, like the fire moon. Signs of Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, you guys are super good at bouncing back from challenges, but the earth moon signs, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, you guys might need to work a little harder to break free from those feelings of being stuck, you know? I was thinking about how our ascendant signs also play a role in how we break free from those feelings of being trapped, because our ascendant is like our outer self, you know? It's how we present ourselves to the world, and when we're feeling stuck, it can be really helpful to look at our ascendant and see how we're coming across. Are we putting on a mask or pretending to be someone we're not? And, I think it's really interesting because, some ascendants are naturally more adaptable and resilient, like the air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. You guys are, super good at thinking on your feet and adjusting to new situations, but the water ascendants, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, you guys might need to work a little harder to break free from those feelings of being stuck, because you're so deeply connected to your emotions, you know? Oh my gosh, guys, I just had the craziest idea. What if we did a collective tarot reading right now when I pulled a card for all of us to reflect on? It would be so cool to see what the universe has in store for us. And I think it could be really helpful in breaking free from those feelings of being trapped, because sometimes we just need a little nudge or guidance to get us moving in the right direction, you know? I'm thinking we could use the collective tarot reading to explore what's holding us back and how we can break free, and I'll just shuffle the cards real quick and see what the universe has in store for us. And I want you guys to keep in mind that tarot readings are all about interpretation, so it's not just about the actual card, but how it resonates with us on a personal level, you know? So, I've shuffled the cards and I'm going to pull one for us, and oh my gosh. The card I pulled is the Knight of Wands, which is all about taking action and being bold, and I think it's so interesting because, this card is all about breaking free from our fears and doubts and just going for it, you know? It's like the universe is telling us to be more spontaneous and take risks, and I think that's especially important for people who are feeling stuck in their lives right now, because sometimes we just need to take that leap of faith and see where it takes us. Hey guys, welcome back to my stream. I'm so glad you're all here. Today, I'm super excited to dive into some really cool astrology stuff. And I think it's going to be really relevant for a lot of you, especially with the full moon coming up this week. So, I know a lot of you have been asking me about the full moon in Scorpio, and I have to say, it's a really intense one, you know? It's all about transformation and letting go of the things that are holding you back, which can be super uncomfortable, but also really liberating if you're willing to do the work. Oh, I'm so glad you guys are interested in the full moon, because I've been doing some tarot readings for myself and some of my friends, and the cards have been saying some really interesting things. Like, I pulled the Eight of Swords for myself, which is all about feeling trapped and limited, but also about finding the strength to break free, which I think is perfect for this full moon energy. So I was thinking, since the full moon in Scorpio is all about intense emotions and transformation, it would be really cool to do a live tarot reading for one of you guys. Like, if you're feeling brave, you could share a little bit about what's been going on in your life, and I could do a reading to help you, whatever challenges you're facing. It could be really helpful, and also super insightful, especially with the energy of the full moon, you know? Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm so excited to see who's gonna volunteer for the live tarot reading, because I have a feeling it's gonna be really powerful. Like, I've been noticing that a lot of the people in my life, including some of my friends and even myself, have been going through some major changes and transformations, and I think this full moon is just the push we need to really move forward and let go of the things that are holding us back, you know? I was just thinking, since we're talking about transformation and letting go, it might be really helpful to explore some of the psychological aspects of that process, because, like, it's not always easy to just let go of things that are holding us back, especially if they're deep-seated or tied to our emotions or past experiences. I've been studying some psychology, and I think it's really interesting how our minds can hold on to things that are no longer serving us, and how we can use tools like tarot and astrology to help us become more aware of those patterns and break free from them. I'm also thinking about how our zodiac signs play a role in this process, because, like, some signs are naturally more inclined to let go and move on, while others might struggle more with holding on. For example, Scorpios and Pisces are both really intuitive and emotional signs, and they might have an easier time tapping into the intense emotions of the full moon and using that energy to transform and let go, while maybe more practical signs like Capricorn or Taurus might need to work a bit harder to connect with that energy and make those changes. You know, I've been thinking about my own zodiac sign, Sagittarius, and how we're naturally more inclined to explore and take risks, which can be really helpful when it comes to transformation and growth. But at the same time, we can also be a bit too focused on the future and overlook the present moment, which is where the full moon in Scorpio is really calling us to be, you know, in that intense, emotional, transformative energy. Oh, I'm so curious to know, guys, what's been the biggest challenge for you lately? And how do you think the energy of the full moon in Scorpio might be impacting you? Like, are you feeling a sense of restlessness or unease? Or are you feeling more inspired and motivated to make some changes in your life? I want to hear from you, because I think sharing our experiences and insights with each other can be really powerful and help us all grow and learn together, you know? Oh my gosh, you guys, I am so excited to be live streaming with all of you today. I just got back from the most amazing astrology conference in LA, and I am bursting with knowledge and insights to share with you all. I met some incredible astrologers and tarot readers, and we geeked out over all things zodiac and spirituality. It was literally the best weekend ever. You know, one of the most interesting things learned at the conference was about the current Mercury retrograde and how it's affecting all of us, especially the fire signs Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Apparently, it's a great time for them to reflect on their passions and creativity and to revisit old projects that might have been put on the back burner, which got me thinking, have any of you guys been feeling the urge to revisit something from your past lately? Oh, and speaking of revisiting the past, I had the craziest experience with a tarot reading recently, where the Eight of Cups kept popping up, which is all about letting go of something that's no longer serving you and moving on to new horizons. And how is this so relevant to what's been going on in my own life? And I'm curious, has anyone else been getting this card in their readings lately, or feeling the need to release something back? Well, I was just thinking, Mercury retrograde is also a great time for all of us to practice some self-care and introspection. And I've been getting really into meditation and journaling lately, which has been super helpful for me in terms of clarifying my thoughts and feelings. And I'm wondering, what are some of your guys' favorite self-care practices? Do you have any rituals or routines that help you stay grounded and centered? I've been thinking a lot about how our zodiac signs influence our self-care practices. And I was just reading this really interesting article about how water signs, Cancer, and Pisces, tend to be really drawn to emotional self-care, like writing in a journal or talking to a therapist, whereas Virgo and Capricorn tend to be more about physical self-care, like exercise or spending time in nature. And it got me thinking, I'm also really curious to hear from all of you about your experiences with tarot readings and astrology. Like, have you ever had a reading that just blew your mind or made you see things in a completely new light? Or are there any astrological transits that you're particularly excited or nervous about? Because I'm all about sharing and learning from each other's experiences. And I feel like we can all gain so much insight and wisdom from each other's perspective. Oh, if we did a collective tarot or reading for the group, like, I could draw a few cards and we could interpret them together and see what kind of wisdom and guidance we can gain from them, because I truly believe that when we come together and share our energies and insights, we can tap into something so much deeper and more profound than we could on our own, and getting chills just thinking about it. So let me know if you're in and we can make it happen. I was just thinking about how the current astrological transits are affecting our relationships, and I'm curious if any of you guys know romantic relationships of lately. Because with Venus and Gemini, it's like the perfect time for socializing and connecting with others, but it can also bring up some challenges and misunderstandings, especially for the air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, who might be feeling a little restless or indecisive in their relationship. I'm also really curious to hear from all of you about your experiences with twin flames or soulmates. Like, have you ever met someone who just felt like home? Or have you been searching for that special someone who truly gets you? Because I've been getting a lot of questions about this lately. And I'm like, wow, this is such a fascinating topic. And I feel like we can all learn so much from each other's experiences. And I've got some insights to share on this too. Hey guys, welcome back to my stream. I'm so glad you're here. I've got something super exciting to share with you all tonight. I've been getting a lot of requests for tarot readings, and I love doing them, but I wanted to mix it up a bit and do something a little different. So, I was thinking, why not do this Zodiac-themed tarot reading? I know, it sounds a bit out there, but trust me, it's gonna be so much fun. We're going to dive into the world of astrology and tarot and see what the stars have in store for us. Oh my gosh, I'm literally so excited to share this with you all, because I just did a reading for myself and it was like totally Mindelbauing, I pulled out my trusty tarot deck and I asked the universe to give me a message for all of you. And the card that came up was dramatic pause, the Eight of Cups. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, Lily, what does that even mean? Well, let me tell you, it's all about change and transformation, and I think it's so relevant for all of us right now. So I know some of you might be thinking, Lily, I'm not really sure what's going on in my life right now, but I do know I feel like something's missing. And oh my gosh, that's exactly what the Eight of Cups is all about, feeling like you're leaving something behind, but not quite sure what's ahead. It's like, you know, when you're driving at night and you can only see as far as your headlights shine. That's kind of what this card is saying, like, trust that the universe has got your back, even when you can't see what's coming next. You know, I've been noticing that a lot of you guys in the chat have been talking about feeling stuck, like you're not sure what's next for you, and that's totally normal, by the way. I mean, we've all been there at some point or another. Or we're just like, what am I doing with my life? And oh my gosh, that's exactly where the Eight of Cups comes in, because it's all about trusting that the universe is guiding you, even when you can't see the road ahead. So, I want to ask you guys who here is a water sign, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces? Because, oh my gosh, this card is like so relevant for you guys right now, especially with the moon being in Cancer this week. I feel like the Eight of Cups is really speaking to you guys, telling you to trust your intuitions and emotions, even when things seem uncertain. You know, I was just thinking, what if we take this reading a step further? What if we look at the Eight of Cups in relation to our individual zodiac sign? Like, for example, if you're a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, this card might be telling you to slow down a bit, take a step back, and reflect on what's really important to you. But if you're an air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, this card might be telling you to trust your intellect, to use your logic to navigate any uncertainty you're feeling. Oh my gosh, guys, I'm literally so curious to know how many of you have been feeling like you're at a crossroads in your life right now. Like you're being pulled in different directions and you're not quite sure which path to take. Because, that's exactly what the Eight of Cups is all about. Feeling like you're torn between two different options, or like you're being called to something new, but you're not quite sure what it is yet. I want to share something really cool with you guys. I've been studying the connection between tarot and psychology, and I think it's so fascinating how the Eight of Cups can be linked to our psyche. Like, have you ever heard of the concept of the shadow self in psychology? It's basically the idea that we all have repressed thoughts and emotions that we're not consciously aware of, and the Eight of Cups can be seen as a representation of that. Like, it's telling us to confront our own fears and doubts and to trust that we have the inner strength to overcome them. So, I was thinking, why not do a little experiment, guys? Let's take a look at the Eight of Cups in relation to each of the zodiac signs and see what insights we can gain from it. Like, I'll start with Aries, and we can work our way through the signs, and I'll share my thoughts on how the Eight of Cups might be relevant for each sign. And, I want you guys to share your thoughts too, because I think it's so important to get different perspectives on this and to learn from each other. Hey guys, welcome back to my live stream. I'm so glad you're here. Oh, I just got the most amazing idea for a tarot. Reading that I want to share with you all. It's all about embracing your inner mystic and unlocking your spiritual potential. So, grab a cup of coffee or tea, get comfy, and let's dive in. I've been getting a lot of requests lately to do more in-depth readings for each zodiac sign, and I'm like totally down for that, you know? So I was thinking, why not start with the fire signs like Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius and explore what their inner mystic might look like and how they can tap into that energy to enhance their spiritual growth and self-awareness. You know, I was just thinking, what if we did a tarot reading for each of the fire signs and explored how they can use their natural charisma and confidence to tap into their spiritual side, like Aries? For example, they're already so bold and fearless, but what if they could use that energy to break free from limitations and tap into their higher self? And Leo, oh my gosh, they're already so radiant and magnetic, but what if they could use that energy to attract abundance? Oh, I'm so excited to share this with you guys. Like, I've been studying the tarot for a while now, and I've noticed that each sign has its own unique way of connecting with the mystical and spiritual realms, and I think that's what makes this reading so special, you know? We're not just going to be looking at the typical tarot spreads. We're going to be diving deep into the symbolism and energies of each sign, and exploring how they can use their natural strengths to tap into their inner mystic and unlock their full potential. I'm thinking we can start with Aries, like, they're the first fire sign, and they're already so bold and fearless, but what if they could use that energy to break free from limitations and tap into their higher self? And imagining a tarot spread incorporates the Emperor and the Knight of Wands. Like, those cards are all about taking action and embracing your inner warrior. And I think that would be so perfect for Aries. Don't you guys think? You know, I was just thinking, what if we also explored how the fire signs can use their natural creativity and passion to fuel their other spiritual growth, like Leo. For example, they're already so talented and charismatic, but what if they could use that energy to create art or music that inspires and uplifts others? And Sagittarius, that energy to write or teach about spirituality and philosophy, and Aries so old. Oh, you guys, I'm so glad you're all excited about this reading. I am too. Like, I can already feel the energy shifting and the possibilities opening up. And I'm thinking, okay, what if we take it a step further and explore how the fire signs can use their natural intuition to tap into the collective unconscious? Like, we all have this deep well of wisdom within us, and I think the fire signs are especially attuned to that, and if they could tap into it, they could access some really profound. So, like, I was thinking, what if we also looked at how the fire signs can use their natural energy and overcome obstacles and challenges? Like, we all face setbacks and doubts, but the fire signs have this amazing ability to rise above and keep moving forward. And I think that's because they're so connected to their inner spark and passion. And if they could tap into that energy, they could overcome anything, you know. And I'm imagining the tab overcome anything. Those cards are all about transformation, and cutting through would be so perfect. You know, I was just thinking, what if we also explored how the fire signs can use their natural energy to manifest their desires? Like, they're already so passionate and driven, but what if they could use that energy to create the life they truly want? And I'm imagining a tarot spread that incorporates an magician and the Wheel of Fortune. Like, those cards are all about taking control and creating change, and I think that would be so perfect for the fire signs, especially Aries, who's all about taking... Hey everyone, welcome back to my live stream. I'm so glad you guys are here. Today, I'm super excited to dive into some astrology and tarot goodness, and I have a feeling it's going to be a really insightful conversation, so grab a cup of coffee, get comfy, and let's get started. Oh my gosh, I'm like totally buzzing with excitement because I just did a tarot reading for myself this morning, and the cards were like totally speaking to me, you know? I pulled the Eight of Swords, and it's all about feeling trapped and limited. But in a weird way, it's also a super empowering card because it's like the universe is telling me to break free from those self-imposed restrictions and trust my own inner wisdom. You know, it's so funny because I was just talking to my friend the other day, and she's a total Scorpio, right? And she's not feeling really stuck in her career. Like, she's not sure which path to take. And I was like, girl, you need to listen to your intuition. It's trying to tell you something. And then I pulled this card for myself and I was like, oh, universe, you're speaking to me too. It's like we're all connected, you know? So, I was thinking, what if we did a collective tarot reading for all of you guys watching today? Like, I could pull a card that represents the energy of our community, and we could dive into what it means and how we can apply it to our lives. Because, honestly, I think it's so cool that we can all tap into this collective consciousness and learn from each other, you know. Would you guys be into that? And so, do a collective reading. And I'm thinking, why not make it even more interesting by incorporating some astrology into it? Like, we could look at the current planetary alignments and see how they're influencing our energies and then tie that into the tarot reading. Because, let's be real, the stars are always guiding us, and sometimes we just need a little reminder to look up and pay attention, you know? So, I was thinking, let's talk about the current Mercury retrograde, because I know some of you guys might be feeling a little frazzled or uncertain about your communication styles, and I'm like totally with you. It's been affecting me too. But the thing is, Mercury retrograde is actually a great time for introspection and reviewing our thoughts and ideas, so let's use this energy to our advantage, shall we? Like, what if we took this opportunity to reflect on our personal growth and how we can improve our relationships with others? Because at the end of the day, it's all about connection and understanding, right? You know, I was just thinking, have you guys ever noticed how sometimes you'll be scrolling through social media and you'll see a post from someone and it's like totally resonating with you, but then you realize, like, this person is like a total opposite zodiac sign from me, and I'm like, how is this possible? And then I started thinking, maybe it's because we're all connected on a deeper level and our energies are like intertwined, and that's why we can relate to each other even if we're like total astrological opposites. It's like the universe is trying to tell us something, you know? Oh my gosh, speaking of zodiac signs, I've been totally obsessed with the energies of the full moon that just passed and how it's affecting our emotional landscapes, because let's be real, our moon is like the ultimate symbol of our inner world, and when it's full, it's like our emotions are at their peak and we can't help but feel everything more intensely, and I'm like totally feeling it. You know, the full moon in Libra was all about balance and harmony, but it was all about balance. Or were you guys? You know, I've been thinking, what if we took this full moon energy and used it to our advantage by doing a little exercise and self-reflection? Like, let's take some time to think about what's been out of balance in our lives and how we can work on finding, because at the end of the day, it's all about creating a sense of inner peace, and I think that's something we can all relate to, right? And maybe, just maybe, we can use the tarot to guide us on this journey and self-discovery, because, let's be real. Hey guys, welcome back to my stream. I'm so glad you're all here tonight.